Thank you, Sir Joey, for that introduction. And so once again, welcome to all our participants who joined this hashtag Once Enterprise second session. And so, but before we proceed, let me ask you first, so what do you like most from our first webinar session tutorial? And so for those who joined, this is the first time who joined this session, you can go to this site, classpoint.app, to participate in answering the question. Or you can scan the QR code using your mobile phones and use our code 55451, so that I can collect your answer. What do you like most from our first webinar session tutorial? So even though you only watch the recording, answer the questions to participate. And so while others are joining, I will start collecting your answer. So you may type it in your browser or on your mobile phones to answer the questions. Okay, only one participant answer. Okay, so learning the training platform of 1C. So that is Ivan Dulay. Thank you, Ivan, for your answer. I don't know why others did not answer the question. Okay, so of course, we discussed about 1C Enterprise platform. And thank you, Ivan, that you learned from our previous session using 1C Enterprise platform. Okay, so your assignment is to follow the demonstration of Sir Tony's application demonstrated from previous session. So I just like to get the screenshot of that application if you do or you follow the demonstration of Sir Tony. Yeah. So using your mobile apps, you can take a picture of your assignment. Yes, and then upload it. And thank you, Joshua, for the screenshot, and Ivan Dulay again. How about the others? Any screenshot of your output as your assigned task? Okay, so only Joshua Ivan. Yeah. So he create the up to the reports. No, he has the brands, the products, the purchase, and the sales. And same true with Ivan. Ivan Dulay. Oh, up to sales. So thank you for that assignment. No, so last time I said that I will call someone to showcase their output. So Ivan or uh, ano name yung isa? And
Joshua, sir.
Joshua, yan. Joshua or Ivan, can you showcase your output? I will let you to have your to share your screen. Are you willing to showcase? Joshua or Ivan? And I will stop sharing my screen so that I can give way to Ivan or Joshua. About Joshua. Joshua? Okay. Ivan. Now just showcase your output. Just click and have some input data. Yan. Sample data. Okay, it's Ivan. Okay, Ivan, can you manipulate your output? Like brands, product, can you add the brands, data for the brands? Ivan, let us try adding data for brands. Click brands. Okay, what happened, Ivan? Where are you, Ivan? Ivan, can you manipulate your output? Just input data for the brands, for the product, or for sales. Okay, so maybe there is a problem with the internet connection of Ivan. So let me share again my screen and let us now continue with our second session. So once enterprise, as we mentioned from our previous session, that it is a free solution for a wide range of users who want to get started with 1C Enterprise. So that is the reason why we give this 1C Enterprise for you as our gearing up for 1C Skills Camp 2022. So you can, it allows us to learn how to develop using different methods on how to create and edit this metadata structure, write script modules, configure forms and interface and administer the applications. No? So there are no limitations on the configuration complexity in the training version. However, no, the training version cannot be used for keeping the actual records. Why? Because it is only a training version. No, 1C company helps us only to learn how to use 1C Enterprise platform so that in the real world we can develop applied solutions for companies. So if you are interested and really love to use Once Enterprise, you must buy a license. But one good thing when you registered to our Once Skills Camp 2022, and if you pass the next level, you will get a free license in using Once Enterprise platform. Okay, so what are the training version limitations? No, so the volume of data is limited for documents, catalogs, register, charts of accounts, and other object tables. So the first one, the catalogs, we already use it to our first application. No, but there is a maximum number of records in account tables. So that is 2,000. So number of records to our main object tables, maximum number of records in tabular sections of objects, maximum number of records in record sets, and external data sources. Now, at least we can try, we can develop, and then we can also create our applied solutions using the training version, but of course with the limitations. And there are other limitations that we cannot do in training version. Okay, so let us now continue. Supposedly, I have a recap, but it was already played on the first part of this session. So last time we set up our configuration after creating our info base, My Money, and then we set our configuration name as My Money, and the platform automatically creates the synonyms for My Money. So synonyms is displayed for our user. No po. Okay, so the first metadata that we use in creating our applications using Once Enterprise, it's like creating a building blocks to form. No, so one block that we use is the catalogs for our first configuration of My Money app. So this time we're going to use documents as our second building blocks to create our applied solutions of My Money app. No. So documents, what is documents? So that is a configuration object used for entering events related to the enterprise businesses. So if in catalogs, we create a list of records such as products for inventory, or if that is a payroll, we can have our list of employees. Now, in our My Money, we have catalogs for accounts and categories for our income and expenses as our list of records. Now, in using documents as one of the metadata class in configuration of our Once Enterprise, now, in this metadata documents, this is where we enter the transactions of the company. So for example, if that is a inventory system, of course, we document the incoming and the outgoing of this item or materials that we enter in our system. So that is the purpose of documents, to document the events related to the enterprise business. So in our My Money apps, we need to document the income and the expense. No? So that is why we need to use documents for our second building block of our configuration for our applied solutions of My Money app. So first, let us do the documents income. So each document has two default attributes. Now, when we create the income documents, it will create automatically the number and the date. For any documents that we create, that is the default attributes added by the Once Enterprise platform, the number and the date. So what is that attribute? As I mentioned, no, here in the definition, the default attributes. So we have number and date. So that is the default. So what is attributes? Attribute is a database field that describes all data elements of a configuration object that is a property that describes an object. Okay, so in other programming languages, when we create our database, we set all the database field. It depends on the table that we create for our program or system or the one that we develop. So in OneC Enterprise, that is attributes. No, the database field is the attributes. No, if we're going to add another database field that is not belongs to these documents, no, so we need to add another field. So the two default fields given by the documents using OneC Enterprise is the number and the date. No, so when we add that document, so let us open our training version, our previously created My Money apps. So I hope you already here in your screen. No, so this is our first building block, the catalogs. We have the accounts and we have the categories that we already created using the OneC Enterprise platform. Now, under the categories, you can see the documents. Okay, so these documents. Okay, so right here, the documents. So just right click the documents. Wait. And just right click the documents. So right click and then let us add. No, or just click insert on your keyboard. So click add. So it will display another screen like this one. So the first thing that we need to create is the income. Okay. Wait. So the income. So let us type income for the name. So record our transaction for all our income. So type income under the name and then press tab and then it will create automatically the synonym income. Okay, so after that creating, no, so let us try to save. So to see the default attributes that we mentioned. Okay, so save and then let us run our program or applied solution. So we just type income for the name and then we click, we press tab on our keyboard. So automatically the synonym is created by the system. Okay, then if you'll notice the income document already appear here under the documents. So in our OneC Enterprise on the user side, so he or she can see the income documents to record the events or the transactions. So let us click income and then it will display like this. No, it is empty records because there is no data yet input for the income. So let us click create. So as I have mentioned, the default attributes is the number and the date. So how do we add another attributes that we need for our recording of the events for the income transaction? So using our sample application, it looks like this. No, so we need this other attributes or data field for our income documents. I hope you follow my demonstration. Okay, so this is the example that we need to create for the income documents. Okay, so let us click income here. And then you will see I have a list of all events, transactions already created. Okay, so when we create, so we need another fields or attributes, no? Not only the date and the what is the other one? The date and the number. I already hide the code or the number. No. So later we will do it how to hide that field even though it is already there, no? Because it creates automatically the numbering. So we need the memo. No. So how do we add these attributes in using documents? So in our catalog, we have already the list of accounts. So we don't need to type again and again the accounts here. We need to use it in using a drop down, using the list of accounts we create here in accounts. Yan. So when we create our income documents, it is possible to get all those accounts from our accounts catalog. No? Same true with our category. No, we can create show all, and then we can choose if it is income or expense. Okay, so how do we add those field or attributes for our documents? Because again, as I mentioned, the default only is the date and the number. Okay, so here in our document, let us go back with our training version. Okay, so we are under the main tab. Okay, the main tab, we only input the name and then the system create the synonym income. So there are other tabs here that you can learn when you continue in our 1C Skills Camp 2022. No, so but in our case, so we're going to add our attributes or other attributes. So we're going to go here under data tab. So under this data tab, when you click, there is an attribute and there is a tabular section. So we're not going to use the tabular section, but in 1C Skills Camp 2022, it will discuss about this portion. So we're going to talk about these attributes in documents. So what we need for this attributes document. So we're going to add the account. No, the account from where we already used or create this in under catalog. So we need to use this catalog ref category. So we're just adding this field account and category, but we need to use the reference for our catalog accounts and catalog categories. Then we need to add amount and we need to add memo. So for our amount, we need to use a number type with the length of 10 and the precision is 2. For our memo, we need a string type. Now, remember our data types in other programming languages that we have a number, we have a string, we have date, we have integers, long integers or integers. So that is in one's enterprise, we also have that different type of attributes, okay, for our attributes. Okay, so let us first add the attributes account and then the category. Okay, so go back to our training version. So our using our data tab. So right click in attributes, then click add, or you can simply click this button. Okay, so click add and then let us add the attribute account without S. No? So to distinguish the accounts here in catalogs and then account that we use here in our income document, because we're only using one single account. Okay, so account. So again, then click tab and then here in our properties, in our properties, after typing the name account and having our synonym account, there is a type. No, if you notice, there is a type here. And type. The default is the string. So let us already created. So let us change the type. Click this ellipsis button. So if you did not see the ellipsis button, try to drag this properties window a little bit to the left so that it will display. No? Sometimes it will hide by the application. No? So try to move this divider. So click this ellipsis button and let us change the type. No? So here are the different data types. No? We have the number string, but take note there is a catalog ref and a document ref. So we're going to use the catalog ref. No, the catalog ref, we have here the accounts and categories. No, remember why we have this catalog ref for accounts and categories, because we already created the catalogs, accounts, and categories. So that's why we have here the catalog ref, accounts, and categories. So let us check the accounts since we are adding attributes accounts so that it will link the data or the list of data that has have in under catalog accounts. So that is our first attribute. So let us do the second attribute, attributes, which is the category. No, so the type should be catalog ref categories. Okay, so category without S. Okay, so again the type should be catalog ref and then choose categories and then click OK. So we have now two additional attributes besides the number and the date. We have now the account and we have now the category. Okay, so there is amount attribute here. So let us add amount attribute with the number type with the length of 10 and precision of 2. When we say precision, that is like a decimal point. Okay, so let us add a number, the amount, sorry, amount. So then the type should be a number with the length of 10 and precision of 2, having a 2 decimal point. And I hope you follow my demonstration. So this time we choose the number type, not the catalog ref, but the number type. No? So for the account, we have catalog ref accounts as our type. And for the category, we have the catalog ref categories as our type. For the amount, we have the number type and the length is 10 with a precision of 2. Okay. Then the other one is to create a memo. What is the use of a memo? So it's like serve as a note for us to determine what is the transaction for our My Money. So the type is string and the length is 1024. So we have to choose the length. No? Again, string. So let us add another memo. And so it's already a string. So we need to change the type to 1024 as the length. 1024. So that is the setup for our memo. Memo name, synonym memo, type string, and the length is 1024. So that is a variable. So we have here now this output for additional attributes for our document income. Okay, so I hope you follow this demonstration. So let us try to save our database and then let us try to debug or run our applied solutions if it works correctly with our income document. So click income and then click create. So as you know, you notice that there is an added attributes. No, not only the number, which is the default, and the date. We also now have our attributes or data fields, account, category, amount, and memo. So let us try a type of catalog ref accounts and categories platform. So let us try this one, and then let us try click show all. Show all, and then it will display all the list of accounts created before on our first session. Now we have the bank accounts and the cash, which we already inputted under accounts. Remember, so that is the link. So if we choose one of these accounts, like for example, cash, on this field account as our data. Okay, so same true with the categories. So since this is an income, so we need to example this is our salary. Okay, so salary. So we have now the data for our account as cash, and then for the category as salary. Now, so it depends on how much is the amount you want or you need to enter for this transaction event. Okay, and then you can input the memo amount in this part. No, for example, this is my salary for the month of June. For example, we have 5,000 for the month of June as my savings. For example, savings. No, if you put it into cash, it can only save on your pocket or your wallet. For emergency, you can use it. Okay. So again, I already explained to you the difference of save and close, but this time you'll see there is a pause and close and save and then separated pause buttons. Okay, when we click save, of course, it will save on our income documents transactions, but it's like only a draft. No, when you use save, not draft. It's not a final transaction for recording the events. No, at some later time, maybe you will change your mind. There is a changes that needs to be done for this recording of events transactions. No, but when we use the pause button or the pause and close button, no, or the pause first, the pause. When we use pause, it will save and then it will find a record or have an effect to our transaction. No, same with the pause and close. So it will pause and then it will close. So the difference is when you just save or you just pause, it will save and it will pause, but this window is still open. Okay. Okay. So I will not save this transaction because it is not yet final. No. Okay. Or we can use the save button. Save button to save this as a draft. Again, when we close, no, take note that in this part, no, under date, there is an icon here, this one. No, if there is no check like this, besides color green, if you did not see that check, so it means it is only saved but not posted. But if you see a check on that icon, meaning that is already posted and it will reflect on our transaction event. Okay, so that is our income document. Okay, I hope you follow my instruction or my demonstration. So we add the attributes income. For our case, we add account as the type is catalog rep accounts. We add category using a catalog rep point categories as our type. We have the amount using the number type with the length of 10 and precision of 2. We did not select the non-negative, but we can check it again. No? The non-negative checkbox, and then the memo is the string type, and then the length is 1024. So it is okay naman if we're not check the non-negative. So let us go back with the amount. No? There is a non-negative part here under precision. So we can check it or we can leave it unchecked. It is okay. But we can still edit, no? If ever we forgot to check this part, no, for non-negative, so it will not accept negative amount. That is, I thought that is the purpose of checking the non-negative type of amount, no? Okay, so that is for our income documentation or recording of the events for the income transaction. Now, for our 10 minutes activity break, no, so I will ask you to create while having our 10 minutes. Now, I will stop talking here. I will give you the floor to create the expense documents. No, you must add the additional attributes. Here is the sample screen for our additional attributes of expense. Okay, so I will give you 10 minutes for this activity. I will not talk here, but you can approach me if you have a problem or if you have a question while doing the activity. So I will give you 10 minutes for this. And so your timer starts now. Wait, I have different backgrounds. So you may start doing the task or expense part. Okay, so you have 10 minutes. You can chat me if you have a problem in doing that expense document. You can use your microphone.
Here are first set of frequently asked questions for 1C Skills Camp. Who can participate in 1C Skills Camp? The camp will be good for IT students, beginner, and professional developers.
Just type in the chat box if you have
English
a problem.
And have some experience with programming languages like Java, C#, Ruby, and etc.
What are the long-term benefits for participants? Aside from cash prizes, international certificates, and job opportunities, participants will have the chance to join World Skills Asia and University Skills in Russia. Students will have role as competitors and professional as experts. These credentials
So if you
will
have
very
no
useful
problems,
in
I will
future endeavors.
assume that
Why
you're
does it
doing
take
well with
5 months to finish a CAP?
documents expense.
First, the main objective is to build a community app. We all know that developing apps will take some time.
If
Second,
ever
the
you have a
stages.
problem, just
We will
type
have the basic
in our
training,
chat
advanced
box.
training, application development, and finally the skills competition. Just like any other
Or
competition,
just tell me
you really
also
need
if
to prepare
you're
to
not
do it.
going to do the
Third,
activity so
another
that I can
objective
move
of the
on.
camp is to produce one
But if
full
you
stack
try it,
development
just type
test.
I
In
will
order to
try
achieve that
so
objective,
that I may know
one must undergo
that you
rigid
do the
training.
task
See you next week for another
so that
set of
we're not
frequently
going to
asked
waste our
questions.
time. We still have 7 minutes left. And thank you, Hermie, for your response and for trying to create our document expense. Uh, Ellison, yan. Same lang po ba sir yung ilalagay na attributes for uh, sa expense? I think it's almost the same. We have the accounts, the categories, the memo, and the amount. As our addition is an expense document, the category should not be used. No, we can change it in different terms because it is expense. Just think of the right term to replace category for expense. I hope you're doing well in doing that task. How about the others? Only Allison, Hermie, and Joshua are actively participating for this conversation. And Joshua, yeah, Joshua. So we still have more than 4 minutes to finish the task. So again, the question is if the attributes should be used or added is the same as in the income. The answer is yes, but you need to change the term category to use for expense. No, what is the right term to use? It's not category but other term because this is expense. So I use this account for that and then the amount and then the memo. Just type your questions or your queries using our chat box. Okay, 3 minutes more. Okay, so we still have 2 minutes and 20 seconds. If you have problems, just type your queries using our chat box. Okay, we still have 1 minute and 50 seconds. Okay, there is 1 minute more. So I'm so excited to see your screenshots. If you do the document expense transaction. So this is not our healthy break. This is only our activity break. I'll give you time to do the task so that it can be an interactive webinar session so that I may know if you learn from my demonstration. I still have 15 seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And so okay, so our 10 minutes activity break for our expense already lapsed. So I want to see if you do the output. And so I want you to share the screenshot of your expense document. Yan. So I try to upload the screenshot of that expense document part running in 1C enterprise mode. Okay, just show the screenshot of that expense document. Just join the ClassPoint app and use the code 55451 and upload your screenshot. Okay, I'm waiting for your uploaded screenshot. Yan, thank you Ivan Dulay for your screenshot. How about the others? Thank you, Joshua, for the screenshot. So let us see the work of Ivan. Okay, so he has the amount, income, and then memo. The other one is from Joshua's output. Okay, he has the account, the purpose, the amount, the spelling, and then the memo. Okay. Okay, thank you, Ellison. Ellison, you click the create button to showcase the expense document. change the screenshot. Ellison Cruz, you screenshot the expense list. What I want to see is the expense document to input the data. Okay, thank you, Ivan and Joshua, for your active participation since from the start, and also to Ellison Cruz. Okay, so save. So thank you to those 3 participants. Again, no, if you did not see the sample document for expense, so we have here the amount, the account, and then the category in our income. We change it to purpose. Why? Because this is an expense. So what is the purpose of using that account, cash or bank account? So there is a purpose why you spend that money for that expense, of course, no? So you spend it for food, for grocery, or for something that you buy, like for example appliances, etc. And then you can put a memo here. Okay, so that would be the attributes or data field that we need for the expense document. But there are need to set up for the expense. So let us try what would be the changes that we need to set up for our expense document. Okay, so for the accounts, so we can see here, for the account we still use the catalog rep accounts. But for our purpose, or in income that is category, we only use the catalog rep categories. But in expense, we can change the purpose to catalog rep categories and catalog rep accounts. So that two catalog rep type should be used, the categories and the accounts. Why? Because that is a composite data type kapag when we use 2 different types for our data type in attributes. Okay? I hope you got me correctly. No. So we call it composite data type. If there are more than one data type we use for that particular attributes. Okay, so for the purpose, so you can change it now on your computer. So try to check the composite at the top. You will see a composite. So go back to purpose, click the ellipsis button under the type, and then check the composite data type, and then choose the 2 catalog rep, the accounts and categories. Why we need to do this? To set up for our expense attributes. Remember, users can reflect 2 operation kinds with expense document. The transferring of funds between accounts, and spending money. So spending money only if you choose categories, categories, because we can choose there under categories the expense. But we need to transfer money. For example, as our cash, we can also transfer it to our bank accounts. If we at some later time we decide to put it on our bank accounts, so we can also transfer from bank accounts as our cash. So that's why we need these 2 options for the purpose of expense. That's why we need to use composite data type. So again, how to use the composite data type? We need to check the composite data type at the top, and then we need to use the catalog rep accounts and catalog rep categories. So let us do this in our what to call this training version. Okay, so there is another way to make it faster. Instead of adding income and then adding attributes, so we can drag drop this income since we already have this part. to documents. No? Drag this income that we already created to documents. And then it will add another income one. You see this one? So we have the income. We have the income, and then now we have the income one. What we're going to do is to change it as expense to lessen our time to set up the configuration. No, as claimed by 1C Enterprise, it is faster or rapid way of making our application. So that is why there is a possible way to do it faster. No, so just copy or paste, or you can drag it, drop to have a duplicate copy and then rename it. So I have now the expense, and then I have also the attribute. Since your question, is it the same? Yes, this is the same with the income attributes. We have also the account, we have the amount, and we have the memo. What we're going to do is to change only the category as purpose. Yan. So we change our expense document, and then again, as I mentioned, we need to use a composite data type. Not only the catalog ref categories, but we need also the bank account for transferring of money. So that is composite data type above, and then choose also accounts. Because if you did not check this type, no, it will not allow you to choose more than one data type. So we need to use composite data type. And so remember why we need to use two data types, because we need also the money catalog rep accounts and catalog rep categories, accounts for transferring money, and categories for spending the amount of money under categories expense. Okay, so then click OK. Okay, so that's it. So we have already our documents income and documents expense. So let us update our configuration info base or database. Okay, then let us try to look the output of our expense. So we have here the expense using this document. No? So again, the purpose, we can now here use accounts and categories to select two different data types. Again, we choose the accounts for the transferring of money from two different accounts, and we use categories if we only spend that money as our expense. Okay, so that is the explanation why we need to use two what you call this for one attribute. Sorry for that part. Okay, so I hope you got it correctly now and you correct your work. Yeah, so additional attributes per expense we already shown. So later we're going to demonstrate to you this accumulation register. Okay, so accumulation register, why we need to discuss this? Because this accumulation register needs may pa pala 10 minutes break. Okay. Okay, so let us discuss now the accumulation register. I hope you got this part. Any question about the documents? So we're already through with the documents having our income and expense. Okay, so next building blocks is the accumulation register. If you have no more questions, okay, so let me check. There is a chat. Ayaw na po maibasa, sir. Yun sa expense po ba, Ellison? Nakuha po ba, Ellison, or hindi? Okay na po. Okay, so let us continue. Nakakuha na pala ni... If you have question, just type it using our chat box. If you're not feeling good in using our microphone. Okay, so no more questions. So let us now use accumulation register. So remember, when I run the documents in 1C Enterprise, no, we're not adding data for the expense, but I add already for the income. Why? Because it will only record using the document, but it will not store changes on our funds. No, it will not add to another account. No, to our accounts. For example, cash. It will not accumulate 500 as 1,000 if we're not going to use the accumulation register. So here, no, as our another building blocks, we use the accumulation register. This is used to store the information about the availability and changes of funds. Okay, so this is also an information about financial operation entered into accumulation register. So documents and accumulation register are tandem together. No, so we need these two. When we use documents, we also need the accumulation register. No, based on our project requirements, no, the application must not only store a list of accounts and categories, no, but also should be capable of keeping the records and financial transaction for our financial transactions, and should keep records of cash flow and simple financial report. So to do this, we need this mechanism of accumulation register. Again, what is the use of accumulation register? That is use changes of our funds, or if that is inventory, the amount or the money that we put in our accounts and we spend for our expenses. Okay, so that's why we need the accumulation register. So registration of various events related to money, income, and expense will be implemented using the configuration object document. So that is the first one that we did. No, the income and expense for the documents. Now we need the accumulation register to do this. Now we have two types of accumulation register. No, in using the accumulation register, we have the balance register and the turnover register. So how do we meet the requirements, no, for this My Money apps? No, so we need accounts and expense for our accumulation register. Accounts as our balance register and expense as our turnover registers. So what is the use of having a balance registered accounts in our My Money app? That is to store the balance of accounts. No, what would be the balance, so that you could quickly find how much money is available. So how much is your cash? How much is your bank account amount? No, using the My Money app. So accounts balance register, that is for the accounts. Expense is turnover register. It helps us to analyze the turnovers by categories. So in other words, when we expend money for a particular expenses, like for example food, no, it also accumulates, no, the food, how much you spend for food, how much you spend for the grocery, for paying your phone bills, for paying your water bills. No, so that's why we use the turnover register for expenses in using the accumulation register. No po. And then at the same time, we can, it also helps, accumulation register also help us to analyze, so how much is the biggest expenses category that we likely spend more, no, in our financial matters. Okay. So to use the accumulation register to create first the accounts, then later the expenses. So first, let us use the accounts as our balance registers. No? So let us create first the accounts for the accumulation register. And so we already have our income expense for the documents. So let us minimize it. And then you will see here the accumulation register at the between the information register and accounting register. So here is our accumulation register. So right click and then let us add accounts, right? Accounts, because we need to analyze the balance for our accounts. Now, accounts like this in our catalogs, the data is the cash, bank accounts. No, so it will monitor by our accumulation register using the accounts here. No, accounts accumulation register. So we set the name and then the synonym automatically created by the system. And then here is the two types. No, register kind, balances or turnover. So as I mentioned to you, we need balance kind for or type for our account. So we use balance. No? So it is already the default type balance, or in the latest version, register kind is the term. No, not register type. So this time we use kind for type. No, for the update version. So because the type is for the previous version of 1C Enterprise Training version. So we choose already balance. So we have accounts. Okay. For this transaction. Okay, so we already created. Then let us move on under next tab, the data. No, data. So we already create. We add the accounts accumulation register. We name it accounts, and then make sure that the register is balances. And then go to data. So under this data, we have three options: dimensions, resources, and attributes. So let us discuss it one by one. What is the dimension? No? When we use dimension, it refers to slices of information that is required to be obtained from the register. It is unlikely that you will be interested only in an overall balance. No? Why you need account dimension? So because if we do not set the dimension, no, the accumulation register for our accounts, it only gives us the total amount for all our accounts. So remember, we have bank accounts and we have also the cash. So if we're not specify the dimension, no, it will get the total for the two accounts that we already have under catalogs. So that is the reason why we need to set a dimension, no, to slice the information. So slice the total amount for our bank accounts and total amount for our cash. Okay, so that is the explanation for using dimensions. Okay, so for the resources, of course, now the accumulation register needs to determine the data that we need to register. No, so in our case, we want the amount for that particular accounts to be recorded, no, as amount. So the type should be a number. Now, because here in accumulation register, we also set a data field to use to record the accumulation records. Okay, so that is our resources. No, so not only the account title, but also the amount that we spend, that we spent for that transaction or use for the transactions. And then these attributes keep additional information that accompanies each entry in the register. So in our case, we will keep the category of our income and expense. So kaya we need an attribute category again for this account balance register. Okay, so that is the 3. So for the dimension, we're going to add account as our dimension. Account. Okay, let us do it. So I already add the account. So under the data tab, go to data tab, and under dimensions, right click dimensions or highlight dimension, then click add, or just right click and then click add, and then let us use name. What is the name? Accounts. No, that is our dimension to be used. So name account, synonym account. Okay. So we use again the catalog rep accounts and then click OK. Okay. And so there is an option here under properties, no empty values. So it's up to us if we check it, no empty values, meaning it will not accept if the account dimension is not what is the term for that? If that field is empty, or it will not accept by the system. No, it must have a value, no, to be entered. Okay, so again, we need to use resources. So our resources is the amount. No, we use the amount, the number. So resources and then add number. Type is number. So our settings for this is 10. Then we have a precision of 2. And then for our attributes, we add category. So to keep other data types. So okay, again, so number at this one, category. Now we need to add additional attribute category for that. So this would be the final output of our setup. Okay. So attributes and then category, then type again should be categories. Okay, so we have here as our final output for accumulation register accounts. So we have the dimensions, account, amount, category. Account, the data type should be catalog rep accounts. Same true with the categories. The amount is a number type, and then we have the length 10, and then the precision 2. And that will be the final for our accumulation register accounts. So again, what is the use of this accumulation register accounts that we created as an object, metadata object, for us to get the balance of our accounts register, no? To store the balance of our accounts and also to slice by having the dimension, slice per account, cash or bank accounts, then the resources amount to determine how much was entered using the dimensions, no, to slice. Okay, then the attributes category. Okay, so for our resources again, we need the amount, right? We need the amount. Why? Because in our expense transaction, we entered the amount. So we need the resources amount. So again, should be 10 and then with a precision of 2. Okay? And then we need the account. So why it exchange, no? Category as now as Adam mentioned, and then for attributes is accounts. Why? Because remember we set our expense accumulation register as turnovers. So we monitor the turnover. It depends on the categories, income or expense. No, that's why we use the dimension category here, no, for our expenses. And then now as attributes. Why the attributes is accounts? Because if we spend for food, for example, we spend expense for food, the amount is 300 from what account? No, from what account? So that's why we use attributes accounts here. So again, the type is accounts, categories, accounts. Okay, so I hope you followed that instruction, and then we will show you later after our break, after setting it up, connecting our accumulation register accounts and expense to our documents so that it will work correctly. No? But at this time, no, having this only our settings is not yet final. No, we have to connect the two metadata objects, the accumulation registers and the documents, these two, because they work together hand in hand. So when we have a documents and when we have our accumulation register, they need each other. So we will set it up after our break of 10 minutes. And before we taking our break, any questions? Did you follow creating our accumulation register accounts and expenses? Just type yes if you follow. And thank you for the answer, Joshua, Hermie, Ellison. About the others? And thank you for the three of you. Okay, so let us have our 10 minutes break. A healthy break. Sir Carlos, Sir Joey.
Earlier, we did have the discussion about documents and accumulation registers. And then I wasn't able to show this earlier. So Sir Ricky is a professor instructor. He has been an expert both in local and international world skills competitions. And he was also part of Team Maharlika during 1C Skills Camp 2020. And as a participant in professional category in 1C Skills Camp 2021, representing the Philippines. Okay, so that is Sir Ricky. He is our 1C evangelist in Southeast Asia. So let's now proceed to frequently asked questions, the second set. Okay, so what's the difference between gearing up for 1C Skills Camp 2022 and the actual 1C Skills Camp 2022? What are the prices? What are the benefits and opportunities? Okay, so gearing up for 1C Skills Camp 2022 is a preparation for the actual competition. So the objective is to prepare participants and be familiarized with 1C Enterprise platform. While for 1C Skills Camp 2022, it is the actual competition. So we will prepare participants to be 1C evangelists, full stack developers, also experts and competitors in international competitions. Okay. So what are the prices? for our gearing up for 1C Skills Camp 2022. So everyone will receive international certificates signed by 1C Company and Shift 101. While for 1C Skills Camp 2022, so you will also receive international certificate. You will receive certificates per stage. So for example, our basic training will be having the junior developer training course. So you will be having an international certificate or a certificate on that stage. Also, there are cash prizes per stage. So for example, if you made it with the junior developer training course, so you will receive a certain cash prize, for example, $100. But if you are the top participant on that stage, so you will receive additional cash prize. Then the same goes with the next stages, like the advanced training, which will tackle the senior developer course, the mobile developer course, and engineering training course. And then we will be having the actual development of the community app. So that's one of the main objective of 1C Skills Camp 2022 is to develop a community app. Okay, and then the final stage will be the skills competition, where the participants will present their work or the mobile app that they have created. The special stage will be that the participants will be able to join World Skills Asia and then the University Skills in Russia. So the student participants will be able to have a role of the competitor on those competitions, while the professional category or the professional participants will be having the role as experts. And then you will represent your country on those competitions. So aside from the international certificate cash prizes, participants will also have the internship or on-the-job training and job opportunities with 1C Company or with our global partners like RISE from South Africa, 1C Vietnam, 1C Forest Mongolia, World Skills Asia, AJC Dev, and SINA from Colombia. So, okay, so that's it for the second set of our frequently asked questions. I will now give our 1C evangelist in Southeast Asia. Sorry.
Okay, so again, welcome back. And so I hope you have your great healthy break. Okay, so let us move on. Wait, I'm going to share my full screen. Okay, so we're through with this accumulation register. We create the accounts and expense register. Okay, so this time we're going to connect accumulation register with the documents, no? Using the income and expense. Okay, so to record the transactions, but we need to remember this term, no? Recorders. What is recorders? Recorders is a configuration object used to generate records in the register. So that's why we create the accumulation register. So we need these recorders, so that we can generate the records using the registered when we entered the event in documents transactions. And then we have also posting. No, posting, it determines whether it is possible to post a document. So these two terms, is visible. It depends where you are. If you are in documents or if you are in the register. Okay, so let us check where it is. So since we are in documents, so let us try to use the income. 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 So income, you will see here the posting, no, under income document. And expense, we also have a posting. So that is posting. Again, what is the use of posting? It determines whether it is possible to post a document. So remember when we run this application, cannot run because the accumulation register is not yet connected. No, if you still remember when we run the documents income or the expense post and close. No, so that is the post method here for posting. No, it determines no if that is possible to post or not the document that we use. Okay, we choose accounts or expense. The term here under the tab is the recorders. No, recorders. And then record recording.
Recording in progress.
Okay, so continue. Okay na recording. Okay, so in accumulation register, we see the recorders and then we see the posting. So that is the connection between the two documents. So register accounts, our recorders document, the income and expense. Why that is our recorder for the two. Remember we have required you choose
Recording
the
in
recorders
progress.
here, it automatically the posting method is also active here. No, when we select already in the accumulation registers. On our training version, wait. Okay. So for our training version, we have
Recording in progress.
Okay, so for our expense, let us choose the recorder expense.
Recording in
Okay.
progress.
So to do this, the posting, no, we have to use to go to document income first. So to activate the connection between the recording of the transaction using the posting and recorder. Okay, so go to posting again with our income documents. So we are in the posting. So since it is already selected, no, the accounts, yan, as our accumulation register. So let us click record wizard. Click the record wizard. So here in register record wizard, if you remember the demonstration of Sir Tony, he also go to this part, the register records wizard. Why? Because we need to connect all the data fields from our documents and accumulation register. So we have to choose this recording. Then the active register should be accumulative register accounts. Okay. So let us choose. So selected accumulation register account and already the receipt is already there. No, just click fill expression. No, we have already different document types here. No, and this is our tabular section for field account, amount, and category. So just click fill expression. So if you'll notice, it will automatically create this expression for our field account, amount, category, and then category. So that is to get the connection for that field using our documents and our register. I hope you follow that part. Then after clicking the fill expression, you have to click OK, and it will create this what you call this? It will create this 1C script. No, 1C script. So automatically it will create by the system. Okay. So after clicking the fill expressions and having these expressions, click OK. So as you'll notice on your computer, so it has now what we call the 1C script. No, for posting. So what would be the procedure? So we can easily understood. Now, if we click the post method under the documents using the 1C enterprise mode, no, it will execute this code. No, posting. So we have the code here. Posting. Yeah. So it automatically generated by 1C enterprise system. No, it used the register records that accounts that write equals true, meaning pwede siyang mag-write, makapag-record. So using the variable record equals register records that accounts that add. You still remember that in similar in doing it in SQL or MySQL. No. So it has a record type, accumulation record type, receipt. Receipt, ibig sabihin, meaning receipt, incoming amount or incoming transaction. So the period, the date, the account, the amount should be recorded or posted in our register recorded in other accounts. Okay. So you have nothing to worry about the code because it is automatically generated by the system. Okay, but at least we need to understand what is in the code. No? Skills Camp, when you join once this Skills Camp 2022, you will have a deeper understanding about how to write a code because they have lots of samples to be used. But in our case, we're showing to you that even we're not writing a single line of code, we can still have a working applied solutions or code in 1C Enterprise. Okay, so posting for our expense. So since we already do it, no, so just check if that is option for posting is checked. The accounts and expense automatically you will see it at the bottom and then click the register wizard. But this time we need to choose expense. So go to our expense and then posting. Make sure we check accounts and expense and you see the accounts and expense at the bottom. Then click the wizard. Okay, so we have to choose which one to be used first, accounts or expenses. So let us choose first the accounts. Accounts. Okay, accounts. Ayan. So for accounts, since we choose it, no? So the record type of the register should be expense because it is expense, no? The amount to the to our account title. Like for example, cash. How much cash you spend for that expenses? So that's why we use accumulation register accounts, and then it will use as expense. So if you'll notice here in register records, we have two way. No, it looks like a debit credit in accounting. When we use or choose receipt, it will add, and if we choose expense, it will deduct to our amount. Or if that is an inventory, to the number of items that we receive and that we spend. Okay, so we use expense for that particular part. Okay, so then let us click fill expression again, and take note why only account has an expression accounts and amount has an expression of amount, but the category has no expression. Why? Because in our document attributes, so it will not detect by the system that purpose and category must be used. Okay, so what we do is highlight this category and then double click purpose. So it will add here. So remember, we use purpose for our expense document as same as category. Okay, and then click OK. So this is the settings. Make sure that you see this icon red with the dash, and then you set the type as expenses, and you'll see the expressions according to the field, the account, amount, category, and the expression must be purpose. Okay, so let us click OK. So it will create the code, okay, for that particular transactions. So next, go back again to our expenses and let's add the expenses. Okay, expenses, posting, record wizard again. Okay, expense, posting, record wizard again. Yes. Okay, so this time let us add the expenses. Expenses. So kanina, earlier we choose accounts. Now we use expenses and then click OK. So for our expenses, no, you have to choose the fill expressions because we have no options here for the recording type because it is understood that this accumulation register expense is for expenses. Now just click the fill expressions. And if you'll notice, only the amount, the filled amount has the expression amount created by the platform, no? The amount, because it has the same title. But for the category, there is no expression that much in our documents attributes. The accounts, because we have S here, I thought, no, that is the reason. It will not reflect on getting no, it will not match with the letter S accounts. It should not have an S here, but it's okay. So just select the accounts and then click account. And then for the category, click the purpose so that we can enter it here. Okay. So just click OK. So it will add another code for accounts now and then for our expense. So that is for the posting procedure created by 1C script using the 1C Enterprise platform. So I hope you follow this demonstration. Just type in our chat box if you follow the connection between the income and expenses, accounts and expenses in documents and accumulation register. Please type, yes, I follow. And thank you for your answer, Joshua. How about the others? And thank you, Hermie, for the answer. How about the others? Okay, thank you. So let us continue. I hope you have this code for our income. You have this code also. So you will see that code again by right click and then open object module. Open object module. So you will see the code created by the 1C Enterprise platform. And we can also write our own code here. In object module or manager module, it depends on where we're going to use the code. Once this skills camp, you will understand how to use these two options. So open object module and open manager module. And there are also some way to use or put our code in using form. So but this time, so the code is under open object module. So for the income, you will see the code. For the expense, you will also see the code. Okay, so here are the two codes. Okay, so let us update our info base, then accept, update, and then let us now run or check our code if it works correctly. Okay, so we have to create our income transaction first, our income transaction. So remember, we create this one transaction or event during the demonstration of creating the income document. So let us try to post it now so that it will reflect to our accumulation register. So what is accumulation register here? So let us check here. So click the service and settings and functions for technicians. And then you will see here the accumulation register. So for the accounts, let us double click. So there is no record yet. No, same true with the expenses. There is no record yet under recordings or recorders. So how do we reflect this transaction income to our register? No, remember it is not yet posted. So to make the code posting run, so let us run the, again, open this transaction or events, and then let us use the post and close to reflect the transaction. So there is now a check in the icon. So it indicates that it is already posted or reflects to our accumulation register. So let us try to check again the accounts for accumulation register. So now you can see it reflects on our transactions. No, the period, Feb 19, the recorder from where it was get the information using the income. This one, income 001 dated February 19 with the account cash and amount of 5,000. The category is salary. So it was get by our recorder. So transactions yet here. So when we create an event for our first the spending of money. So spending of for the purpose, I use categories, of course, to use expense. So let us add, for example, I buy I paid my water bill. I paid my water bill. So save and close. That is my expense. So let us select water bill. So water bill is my purpose. I pay 500, for example. So pay my water bill for the month of October. So that is my memo for that transaction. So let us use pause and close to pause the transactions, and let us try if it already reflects with our accumulation register expenses. So as you see, it records our transaction under register, no, for the period of February 19, expense recorder natin. And then the category is already here, water bill, the amount is 500, and then the accounts is cash. So that is the another way. But no, take note for the account. So let us go back. So if you do not remember, go to functions for technician, and then let us go to accounts. So if you see, no, so since we set the register accounts as balance type, no, remember that. No, it records the incoming and the outgoing transactions, no, so that it could get the balance that we use for cash. So we have 5,000, and then we use 500. So the balance should be 4,500. So when we create a reports, it will reflect how much left or how much is the balance of our accounts for cash. No, so again, if we use bank accounts, it will reflect here. If we add, and then if we use or spend that money for bank account, now it will reflect under accumulation register accounts. So we can see it here, all the transactions, because we connect our documents, transaction, income, and expense to our accumulation register accounts, and expense. So that is the connection. Now, remember, as I mentioned, for our expense, it is possible to not only to use the expense document to spend money, but also to transfer the amount of money from accounts to another accounts. So to do that, we have to change the code a little bit, the created code by the system. So remember on your computer, whatever you create or you see on your screen, just copy it, and then let us use only the posting modification by using the if then else, because we need not only this money spending, but also we need this transferring of money between accounts. So to do that, we need to modify our code created by the 1C Enterprise platform. So how to do that? We use if-else statement. So we are already familiar in using the if-else statement. So to make it happen, to use the spending of money and the transferring it of money between accounts. Okay, so let us go back with our expense. This one, expense, right click and then open object module so that you can see this code. So what we're going to do is we're going to use this statement if and else on our posting method. So the original code is under here. So let us use this if else statement. If and then else. So the original code must be under else. And then let us use and if, then semicolon. So it is similar to other programming languages. Okay, so that's it. We add if else statement, just like this. We add. So what would be the way of using it? So in 1C Skills Camp, you will learn how to use this different type of using objects for coding, all that objects, but you have to copy this part exactly as you seen in the screen. You can screenshot so that you can have your condition for if type of purpose is equals to type. Just copy that part only. Do not copy the one below. Okay, so if type of purpose, then so I'll give you time to type of, then parentheses, purpose, use capital letter if needed or necessary, then use the type catalog rep accounts. So that is coming from our catalog accounts. So that is the type catalog ref dot accounts. So use that condition for if, and just copy paste. I will copy it up to then. So I will use it here, and so that we have the if then statement. So this is the original code. We have nothing edited or modified yet. We just add if statement, else, and if having this statement. If type of purpose equals type catalog rep accounts, then. So that's it. So this time, what we're going to do, you have to copy these accounts only. Accounts, register accounts, expense. Copy this part only. Do not include the expense part. just the accounts. So when you copy the accounts, so we will do some modification to the code to make it work correctly. So let us study first what is stated here in the under it. Now, after copying it, when we paste it 2 times, okay, so let's do this, the pasting. When we copy, let us paste it here. 2 times. 1, then enter, then 2. So we have this 2 code, but we need some modification, no? So modification for the code. So what we need to modify, I just hide some part. So we need to modify this part, no? Some part are okay, but here we need to modify this part. And you have to modify this part with this one. The category should be equals to catalogs.categories.transfer. Now remember, we have 2 folders for the categories in income and expense. Then we have the item transfer. So we need to use it. Catalog, may S dot. So like a Visual Basic, it will appear some of the available code, no, categories. So we choose categories, then that we have transfer. So because we have transfer item under categories, so we modify it as is. So that's the only changes we need to make in this part. No, all same. No, there's no big changes. Just this one. On the lower part, the second one that we add, no, same with the first line, second line, third line, no, but take note, no, the type should be receipt, no, because we have 2 options. So since the type here is expense on the second one, now we change it to receipt. So type that, then receipt. Choose receipt. Yeah, choose receipt. So the changes are 2. No. So for this accumulation record type and this category, we need to change this purpose as catalogs.categories. Just choose categories by clicking tab on your keyboard, then click that, and then choose transfer. So that is the modification only that we need to make using 1C script. So this one and this one for the second line. And then for the first one is this, for the first one, only this. So we change only 3 items for the code. So I hope you got it correctly. So you must have this final code. Okay, so if you done it already, just update. And then let us run to check if it works. The other one, the transfer of money from accounts to accounts using the expense document. So let us do the transfer of account. So if that is a transfer of account from of money from account to another document transactions, but in the register we can see it. No, we just use this expense document to make it possible to do that. No, so let us create, for example, we have 5,000 for cash. We have available 5,000 less 500. We have 4,500 as the balance for the cash. And now for our purpose, no, let us choose accounts. That is what we said, accounts, account to accounts. No, so cash, yung source is the account cash. Our purpose is to transfer it in our bank accounts. For example, we deposit another 500 for our bank accounts. So that is our memo. We deposit 500 from cash to bank account. So we have account cash as our source. Purpose to put it in bank accounts, and then the amount is 500. So let us use pause and close. Okay. So let us see the functions for technician, and then let us check our accumulation register expense. If we can see the as you can see, there is no transfer account here under expense, but we can see it in accounts. Supposedly, it will reflect the transfer. You see, we have here now the 500 that we transfer to our bank.
Recording in progress.
So there is how about the record accounts on second part? Okay, so Joshua, what is your question about record account on second part? What is your particular question? You follow the demonstration, okay? So I hope you got it all. You understand how to create reports if you continue to enroll in our 1C Skills Camp 2022. And if you pursue it, you listen to what I speak, process about the opportunity you can get up to the final stage. So that is the
Recording in progress.
So matters, no? So reports is very important. So these are used to obtain data from our 1C enterprise info base. So from our accumulation register, and we need to optimize the settings experience users can create using our applied solutions. So reports is located here. Now you see the reports. Yeah, so let us try to create the reports for income first. So right click, then click add. So let us type income reports. No space. And so income reports, for example, that is our title for our reports. And then there is what we call a data composition schema. So it will explain further in 1C Skills Camp. So try to join and push our 1C Skills Camp 2022. Okay, so open the data composition, just click it, and it will appear another small window. Just click finish. Just click finish. and then it will appear this window. No, so we have here the data sets, the data source name. It is clean. No, so there is a data set. This button with a plus sign, just click it, and then you have here three options: add data set query, add data set object, and add data set union. In our case, we're going to choose add data set query. So let us click add data set query. Okay, so the window will change. No, having this. So there is a query wizard here, query wizard. Just click this query wizard, and then this window query wizard appear. Now, so since we are creating a report for our income, no, let us use accumulation register, no, for our accounts balance. But why account balance? We need to use account balance because remember, for our catalog accounts, we choose the balance. Okay, we need to use the balance. How much is the balance for a particular account, cash or bank account? So double click, and then we need this account and then this account balance. And so what I did, no, I click the plus sign so that you can see this option: accounts, accounts point balance, and turnover, etc. So we use only the accounts point balance to see the balance of our accounts. Okay, so it will have this table, the accounts balance. So click the plus sign to show these two fields. So click or double click these two fields to put it here. No? So you must have these fields: accounts balance point account, accounts balance point amount balance, and then click OK. So automatically the 1C script query script is created by the system. No, so we have this query, and then we have this field. No, so what we do is to have change the settings or set the settings. You will see settings here, settings. So click settings, and then we need to add a layout for the report. So make sure you select report, and then we have here the button here, the wizard, this one, this one. And so you click that wizard, and so we have to choose what kind of report we need. Now report type. So we choose this first option only, then click next. Then you will see this one. The question is select fields to display in the report. Select fields to display in the report. Yes, we need the account and we need the amount balance. That is what we need for the report. Then click next. And then the next question for the wizard is select fields to group data by grouping fields are displayed in the report. Of course, we need to group it by account only. Now, by account. So just double click by account or just click this one, select, and then click to put it here, the grouping fields. So account. Then click next, and then click let us read the select order fields define data in the field. So order fields by account. So order fields by letters A to Z, no? Ascending order. If we choose descending, Z to A. So let us choose the ascending order. Then click OK. So it will automatically generate by the reports using the main data composition schema. Okay, so let us update our info base and let us try if we create correctly the reports for income. And so right click, click the reports, and then we have here the income reports. And then let us click run reports. So we have only cash 4,500. So the layout is look like this. But what if I want this amount to be here in the next column? No, let us go back with our code. So to put it in next column. As you will see this, the created one, no, the detailed records is under account. That's why it looks like in our demonstrated reports. So what we're going to do is to drag this at the left or report so that it will not be under the account, but instead it should be put in another column. So let us update and then run it again. Then try to run the reports again. Click run report. So as you'll notice, we can see it now clearly, having our column account cash and column amount balance, which is 4,500. So that is our simple reports created using 1C Enterprise platform. So we already have our application that is running and can be used as our personal application to monitor our financial matters, our income and expenses. Any questions about creating reports? So that is your assignment, to create reports for expenses. No? So that is your assignment. And that's the end of my discussion for this afternoon. And before I end my topic, is there any question before we take our quiz? 5 items only. Is there any question? Sir Joey, do you have something to say before I end up and do our quiz time?
Okay, so Ricky. Okay, so before we will have the quiz. Okay, so we're done with the Q&A. Sir Rico already announced the announcement, the assignment, I mean. Okay, so before we take the quiz, I'd just like to announce last week's top 3. So we have Joshua De Guzman, Ellison Cruz, and Sir Paulo. So I'll send you a direct message on how you could contact us and how will you claim your prize. Okay, so that's it, Sir Ricky. Let's proceed with the quiz time. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Sir Joey. I hope so everyone is ready. If you have no more question, just type no if you have no question, so that I'm not assuming. Just type no if you have no question. And thank you. So that I can proceed on our quiz. Yan. So there is a prize. Just contact Sir Joey directly so that he can send to you the prizes. So for our this session quiz, I hope there is no more mistake. I make sure that the correct answer is already set correctly. Okay, so quiz time. And of course, I also get a question from our hashtag 1C Enterprise first session. The question is, again, you have to connect to our application, classpoint.app, using this code 55451, or you may scan this QR code. And so I hope you already scanned and join our class quiz, our quiz activity. Okay, so 1C Enterprise, the term for backing up infobase is A, restore, B, dump, C, backup infobase, or D, dump infobase. A, B, C, or D? Ayan. So they answered letter D. There is also one person or participant answer letter B. So how about the others? We only have 5 participants. You can still join our ClassPoint.app for our quiz. 4, 3, and there's still someone who answers. So I will add another seconds. Maybe they have a problem with their internet connections, so that they have the chance to participate for our quiz and get some perks to our 1C Enterprise and Ship 101. Okay, so what would be the correct answer? The correct answer is letter D. Yan. So who got the highest point? Yan. That is Joshua de Guzman, got 1,000 points, followed by Ivan, Ma'am Rosemary, Elizon, Jason, and Natalie. Okay, so for the second question, it is executed by the 1C Enterprise platform. Again, it executed by the 1C Enterprise platform. A, data. B, program. C, applied solutions. Or D, configuration. A, B, C, or D. Cast your votes. And so we have 2 answers, letter C and letter D. Ayan. So we have now 8 participants for this class activity. Okay, we have 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Maybe some participants have a problem with their internet connections because I see the how many joined the Ayan. Sino kaya yung mabilis? It's still Joshua de Guzman. He got 2,000 points, very close to Elizon and Ma'am Rosemary Abesha, Ivan, Natalie, and Riza Duquiza. Ayan. Next question. In 1C Enterprise, catalog is called, in 1C Enterprise, catalog is called A, data, B, metadata object, C, metadata class, or D, none of the above. A, B, C, or D. Ayan, they answered letter B. 10 seconds, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, who got the correct answer? That is letter C. So no one get the correct answer for this question. Maybe you have tawag dito, pagkalito. So because we use here the metadata object and then the metadata class. So catalog is our metadata class. Catalog is the metadata class. Document is the metadata class. The accumulation register is the metadata class. So what is the metadata object? The metadata object is the accounts and the categories that we create in metadata class catalog. In documents, that is the income and expense. In accumulation register, that is the accounts and expense. That is what we call metadata object, the one that we create in using the metadata class. Okay, so I hope that is now clear to all of you now. Okay. For the number 4 question, a configuration object used for entering events related to the enterprise business. A configuration object used for entering events related to the enterprise business. A, catalog. B, documents. C, register. Ayan, they frequently answered letter B, but there is one participant who answered letter C. So who got the correct answer? Those 6 participants who answered letter B, or the one participant who answered letter C? And so let us check what is the correct answer. Okay, the correct answer is letter B. So who got the faster answer? So it's still Joshua who got 3,000 points, followed by same ranking for our participants. Okay, maybe this is the last questions. Todo nyo na. So a database field that describes all data elements of a configuration object. A database field that describes all data elements of a configuration object. A, attributes. B, posting. A, B, C, or D? And so our participants has two options. Some answer, no answer for letter C and letter D. So the most answered is letter B. Only two participants answer letter A. So what would be the correct answer? So let us see. Okay, that is letter A. And so congratulations to Joshua de Guzman. Got the 3,000 points. Still 3,000 points. Maybe mabilis yung iba. Okay. So thank you. Why attributes? Not some answered letter B, not resources. It's attribute because remember attributes is the database field that we need to add to our documents. Again, the default value is the number and the date. So if we need another database field, which is what we call attributes in 1C Enterprise, so we need to add attributes. Okay, that's it. So for our assignment, I already mentioned that this one. Just do the report. Medyo mahirap kasi ito kung gagawa pa kayo. Pero if you can, create your own 1C Applied Solutions project for personal use. Much better. Okay, so I will leave this quotation to you. Any fool can write code that a computer can understand. Good programmers write code that humans can understand. That's it for today. Thank you, and I hope you will push enrolling the 1C Skills Camp 2022. See you there. But still, we have another session, which is I will show you the mobile, how to run it in mobile in our Android, and how to customize having a desktop like the one that I have when I run or debug. There is a desktop. Okay, thank you, sir.